I won't have the chance to witness my little girl make her way down the aisle or share a dance with her father. With Vanessa Bryant's pregnancy rumors gaining traction, the NBA's portrayal of her as a dictator becomes even more pronounced. Echoes of the Karl Malone scandal and murmurs of familial treachery resurface, drawing critics close. But could these emotional fractures uncover deeper truths? Or is the league stoking a whirlwind beyond her grasp? Vanessa Bryant's rumored pregnancy sent shockwaves through the NBA gossip columns. It all started with a snapshot, one moment captured at Disneyland in June 2025. Vanessa Bryant strolled next to her daughters in a light, flowing sundress, a subtle smile gracing her lips. To an unsuspecting onlooker, it resembled an average summer day, a simple snapshot of family life. Yet to the relentless scrutiny of the gossip machine, it became fuel. The image hit the internet in no time, splashed across fan pages and tabloid sites, igniting a flurry of comments almost immediately. A few users focused on Vanessa's waist, magnifying what they asserted resembled the outline of a baby bump. Others debated her outfit, suggesting the dress served to conceal something. One remark that garnered a flood of likes stated outright, "That's a pregnancy glow. She's definitely expecting." That initial spark ignited an uncontrollable blaze. Speculations about Vanessa Bryant, the bereaved wife of the late Kobe Bryant, quickly surged on platforms like Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. By week's end, TikTok compilations dubbed Vanessa Baby Watch were racking up millions of views. Creators stitched together her Disneyland moments, slowed the clips, and layered on suspenseful captions such as, "She's concealing something." The story was now firmly established. It was an announcement. Vanessa Bryant was expecting a child. As if that weren't enough to stir the pot, the online world swiftly introduced a name into the mix. By July, websites and discussion boards weren't merely questioning her pregnancy. They were pondering who the potential father could be. The boldest rumor emerged from Bollywood shotties, hinting at a romantic connection between Vanessa and Boston Celtics player Jalen Brown. This speculation lacked evidence. No images of them side by side, no trustworthy journalists backing it up, but that was irrelevant. The mere implication was explosive. Just like that, the narrative transformed from mere conjecture to a full-blown controversy. Kobe Bryant's widow, rumored to be expecting, supposedly carrying the child of a current NBA star. In today's digital landscape, the issue with gossip isn't just its rapid dissemination, it's its capacity to mutate. A single account shares a gossip. Another one adds flair to it. Soon after, the tale transforms into something far removed from its origins. By July 2025, Vanessa's supposed pregnancy was already accepted as fact in the public eye. Numerous TikTok accounts focused solely on monitoring her baby bump. Reddit enthusiasts assembled comparative visuals of her attire from various public events, asserting they showcased her concealed, blossoming belly. A segment of fans highlighted AI-created images featuring her with an overemphasized abdomen, misrepresenting them as authentic paparazzi captures. The speculation escalated to a point where major media outlets began to report on it. One publication even released an article encapsulating the hysteria, observing that Vanessa had fallen prey to body-shaming masked as mere conjecture. Once her reply surfaced, the media jumped on the tail, but by then, weeks of conjecture had already taken their toll. By August, it wasn't merely gossip sites chiming in. Sports analysts and cultural commentators started voicing their opinions. That's when the rumor escalated drastically. A critical turning point occurred when prominent figures began endorsing the gossip as if it were truth. For example, sports analyst Stephen A. Smith was referenced in a viral clip in which he chastised Vanessa for endangering her kids for a man she hardly knew. His remarks were not grounded in evidence, just speculation. However, his association with the narrative lent it an unwarranted legitimacy. This is also how the phrase "NBA players criticize Vanessa Bryant" originated. Stephen A. Smith may not be an NBA athlete, yet his commentary, magnified through online articles and social media, began to be portrayed as if it encapsulated the essence of the league. In an instant, the scrutiny shifted from mere speculation about Vanessa Bryant to outright aggression toward her. The sensational headlines surged. NBA personalities outraged by Vanessa's upcoming baby. Vanessa criticized for her irresponsible decisions. Kobe's widow seen as tarnishing his legacy. The truth was irrelevant. The story was too enticing to ignore. What intensified the backlash was the intense moral indignation that fueled it. The speculation was not presented as impartial information. Rather, it was depicted as shocking and disgraceful. Followers condemned Vanessa for supposedly dishonoring Kobe's memory, even though he had passed over 5 years prior. Others branded her as self-centered, asserting that she was progressing too swiftly. The most severe backlash originated from men who openly confessed their reluctance to witness her presence. They were fine with anyone else taking her place. During the Joe Budden podcast, one commentator highlighted the hypocrisy. "I can't stand the thought of her moving on. I don't want to see Lauren London move forward either. I don't wish to see you anymore. I'm moving forward. That should be kept between us." Are they meant to roam the streets draped in black veils and mourning gowns? living in despair indefinitely? It was an astonishing revelation, not due to the cruelty of the online world. This outcome was anticipated. However, it exposed the extent to which fans felt they still had influence over Vanessa's private life. To them, she wasn't an individual with the liberty to choose. Instead, she represented a figure eternally linked to Kobe's legacy, unable to move forward. This perspective was far from unique. During the same segment, another guest highlighted the prevalence of this mindset. Many individuals struggle with the idea of others moving forward. Vanessa's purported pregnancy shifted focus away from her personal experience to what society anticipated her to embody. She found herself entangled in societal expectations, where unfamiliar faces dictated how she ought to commemorate her deceased spouse. As July transitioned into August, an unusual development occurred. What began as murmurs of a baby bump spotted at Disneyland evolved into a narrative that was confidently recounted. On Twitter, inquiries about Vanessa Bryant's potential pregnancy vanished. The language transitioned to declare, "Vanessa Bryant is expecting." Once a rumor evolves into a definitive assertion, it develops a momentum of its own. Content creators across platforms embrace this idea, crafting reaction clips and informative threads as though they were reporting live events. Such is the peril of online rumors. When repeated, falsehoods begin to feel like facts. Viewers, observing from a distance, concluded that the volume of chatter validated the claims. Thus, conjecture solidified into conviction. At this point, TikTok transformed into the epicenter of the chaos. Users began crafting montage videos featuring Vanessa at various public gatherings, deliberately slowing scenes to amplify her demeanor. Some incorporated foreboding soundtracks and statements like Kobe would be disappointed. Others mixed in images of Jalen Brown during Celtics matches, insinuating, without proof, that he was the father of the alleged child. The link between Vanessa and Brown appeared from nowhere, yet it ignited outrage on social media due to its dramatic flair. At 28, Brown stood out as one of the NBA's rising stars, while Vanessa, at 43, mourned the loss of a basketball icon. Their connection was intriguing enough to captivate audiences, prompting gossip sites to take note. Bollywood capitalized on the buzz, centering their stories around the Jalen Brown narrative. Before long, social media was ablaze with comparative images of Vanessa and Brown, as if placing their pictures together could validate the speculation of a romance. The narrative grew to such an extent that even well-known publications, such as Ola and Times of India, took notice. What began as whispers on TikTok had escalated to global news. Throughout the frenzy, Vanessa remained completely mute, offering no comments, no denials, not even an ambiguous Instagram post to hint at the swirling rumors. Her lack of response resonated, more powerfully than any conjecture. To her detractors, this silence was incriminating. They contended that if she were not expecting, she would have quashed the speculation without delay. For her advocates, it signified honor. They lauded her for dismissing internet bullies and not indulging in speculation. Yet, truthfully, her quiet stance was a calculated move. Having spent years in the spotlight, Vanessa understood the mechanics of gossip. Bring it up prematurely, and you validate it. Remain unspoken for a while, and your adversaries will show their true colors. This wasn't her inaugural battle with the press. In 2020, following the devastating helicopter accident that claimed Kobe and Gianna's lives, she faced relentless scrutiny, with the media exploiting her sorrow. In 2021, she took legal action against Los Angeles County for the unauthorized release of crash scene images, understanding that addressing the issue publicly would only escalate tensions. Vanessa had mastered the skill of patience, so during the sweltering summer of 2025, as online commentary tormented her, she chose to stay silent. When she eventually chose to reply, her response was crafted to overshadow the rumor entirely. It was in late August that Vanessa chose to speak up. Rather than holding a press conference or issuing a polished statement, she opted to leverage humor. On Instagram, she shared a meme featuring Gianna swimming below the surface, goggles in place, and giving the middle finger. The message said, "In case anyone was curious, Vanessa Bryant is not expecting." Consequently, Vanessa took to her Instagram story to address the swirling speculation. "Time for me to safeguard my serenity," she stated, clarifying that she's enjoying her summer and not pregnant. But she didn't end there. She added another Rihanna meme for good measure. "I'm not unkind, I simply am not the right fit." The underlying message was clear. She wasn't interested in trivial pursuits, nor did she intend to conform to the whims of hearsay. With a single remark, Vanessa flipped the gossip into a joke. What had previously appeared provocative now seemed laughable. If the memes missed the mark, Vanessa made her stance unmistakable in September. She showed up courtside at the US Open, drink in hand, sharing a playful photo with a caption that hilariously quashed the fictitious pregnancy gossip. This was the decisive blow. Following months of conjecture, AI-generated images, and media frenzy, Vanessa asserted herself. She wasn't expecting, she remained unbothered, and she refused to allow online trolls to control her narrative. The meaning behind that appearance by the court was unmistakable. For years, Kobe Bryant represented the NBA's image, and now Vanessa was there, enjoying a drink at a premier global sporting event. She was reclaiming her narrative. No longer just Kobe's widow relegated to the background. She was Vanessa Bryant, confidently controlling her own story. Nevertheless, the speculation didn't emerge out of thin air. The Karl Malone incident significantly influenced how Vanessa Bryant was perceived. The pregnancy rumors of 2025 didn't arise independently. Indeed, the Disneyland images, AI manipulations, and Jalen Brown's musings contributed to the discourse. Yet a more profound factor made many fans and even some analysts find the story credible. It was not solely linked to the events unfolding currently. This story revolves around the past. To grasp how rumors surrounding Vanessa spread with such speed, we must travel over 20 years back to 2003. This was the moment Vanessa Bryant confronted one of the NBA's most infamous personalities, Karl Malone. It marked the Los Angeles Lakers' 10th season, with Kobe Bryant at his peak, leading the team together with Shaquille O'Neal. Karl Malone, an experienced player known for his prowess and controversies, had recently signed with the Lakers, aiming for what many viewed as his final opportunity to secure an NBA title. Unbeknownst to the public, the Bryant family was about to face a different kind of turmoil. Reports, including those from ESPN at the time, revealed that during a November 2003 game, Malone made inappropriate comments towards Vanessa Bryant. At 40 years old, while seated courtside with Vanessa, he allegedly commented on her appearance and inquired if she wished for him to go hunting for her. The nature of this comment was troubling, but its context rendered it even more inappropriate. At that point, Vanessa was 21, married to Kobe, and surrounded by loved ones. Malone's remark was not merely inappropriate, it was made openly. Wives of NBA players might have brushed off such a situation to prevent conflict or felt their influence wouldn't outweigh that of a player. Vanessa, however, did not let it go. She faced the issue squarely. As reported by the Los Angeles Times, Vanessa boldly questioned Malone, saying, "What are you searching for, Karl?" His reply, as later detailed, was chilling. "I'm searching for young Mexican girls." This interaction was incendiary. It not only affirmed the sinister implications behind Malone's initial statement, but also highlighted the racial aspect of his words. Vanessa, of Mexican roots, became the target of an inappropriate joke from one of the NBA's prominent figures. Upon learning of this, Kobe was enraged. He addressed Malone directly in public and warned him to keep his distance from his family. ESPN's reports reveal how Kobe charged Malone with overstepping a boundary that was irreversible. Kobe later reiterated this during a candid discussion with ESPN, elaborating on his allegations against his ex-teammate for allegedly making advances toward his wife, Vanessa. Kobe opens up to John Saunders and the NBA shoot-around crew about his perspective. What led you to make your statements publicly? And do you think you needed to address this matter openly? Honestly, I didn't address it initially at all. When a situation exploded after the radio interview, numerous reporters approached me, both on and off camera, inquiring about the personal dynamics between me and Karl. They were unaware of the details, whether due to him or his years. I'm uncertain. My reply to them was simple. This is a private issue, handled privately, end of discussion. Then out of the blue, I came across news articles where folks were narrating the tale and sharing only fragments of the truth regarding the events. I found that unacceptable. It really bothered me. Kobe, reflect on this. Do you believe that Karl Malone made a move on your wife? It's clear that it unfolded in some context. We all recognize the events that transpired. During that instance, Kobe was not merely defending his spouse. He was corroborating her story before the whole basketball community. Yet, rather than extending compassion to Vanessa, the criticism turned against her. This is where all became convoluted. Instead of addressing Malone's misconduct, numerous supporters and analysts depicted Vanessa as the issue. They characterized her as overly dramatic, domineering, and even cunning. The young spouse who sparked turmoil through her extreme response. Media outlets and discussions lampooned the situation, implying Vanessa had amplified the confrontation or provoked Kobe into escalating it. Detractors alleged she was controlling Kobe's social connections, creating distance from Malone. For some supporters, this incident marked the moment Vanessa solidified her image as a manipulator. A figure who orchestrated events from the shadows, influenced Kobe's actions, and created unwarranted conflict. The Malone car scandal didn't sidetrack his career. He soared to new heights. However, for Vanessa, the repercussions remained. Despite the years that flowed by, any mention of her in tabloids revived the old narrative. She was depicted as domineering, perceived as having an unsettling influence over others. The intense 2025 pregnancy speculation stemmed from this very core. It resonated with a long-standing tale fans had come to accept. Vanessa, now viewed as the puppet master, found herself once more in the midst of NBA intrigue. Just as whispers surrounded her with Malone, she was now rumored to be linked with Jalen Brown. As soon as people began to notice the similarities, the narrative spread rapidly. This is what made the Jalen Brown rumor seem credible to many. It wasn't solely about Vanessa being seen in a gown at Disneyland. It revolved around the past. Memories of 2003 lingered. They recalled the Malone controversy, Kobe's challenging season, and how the press depicted Vanessa as someone who thrived amidst chaos. The 2025 rumors dug into that shared recollection. For those casually browsing TikTok, the truth behind the gossip was irrelevant. What mattered was how much it fit Vanessa's perceived persona. While the Malone affair clarified the swift spread of the pregnancy speculations, it didn't account for the pain they caused. To grasp this, we need to delve deeper than Vanessa's ties with Kobe or basketball icons. We must investigate the subsequent betrayals, the swirling breakup speculations, claims of stolen jewelry, and familial disputes that ignited gossip into a frenzy. The turmoil, separations, and family conflicts. The speculation surrounding pregnancy possibly ignited the most recent chaos surrounding Vanessa Bryant. What sustained the dictator image were the betrayals that trailed her relentlessly. There were several disastrous relationships, incidents of theft, and family conflicts that became public spectacles. These weren't merely random occurrences. Collectively, they illustrated Vanessa as a warrior engaged in continuous skirmishes on various fronts, each one reinforcing the notion that she was in a relentless struggle for power against those close to her. In the lead-up to the pregnancy speculation, gossip platforms started highlighting issues within Vanessa's personal life. Following years of associations with various prominent personalities, some true, others mere conjecture, rumors of a tumultuous split have emerged. What set this apart was the supposed fallout, with allegations of missing valuable jewelry. As per a detailed report, law enforcement became involved after Vanessa charged a past lover with the theft of jewelry valued at tens of thousands. For someone like Vanessa, who cherishes her family's heritage, this act was more than mere larceny. It was an act of treachery. The belongings were more than mere adornments. They held deep emotional significance. Each item was a connection to Kobe and the family's past moments. Reporting on the event focused largely on dramatics, with bold headlines proclaiming Vanessa's shattered faith and the downfall of a glamorous romance. There were whispers regarding how a person so vigilant with her inner circle could fall prey to a con artist. This story was particularly damaging as it challenged Vanessa's carefully crafted image of authority. For years, whether justly or unjustly, she had been seen as the puppet master, the one orchestrating events. Now, the tale of the pilfered jewels hinted that she was vulnerable to being outsmarted, tricked, and shamed. A rare fissure appeared in her carefully constructed facade, and the tabloids seized the opportunity. However, the deepest cut wasn't delivered by a former lover. It allegedly came from her own kin. Whispers began to circulate in 2024 and reemerged in 2025 about the tensions between Vanessa and her eldest daughter, Natalia Bryant. Now an adult embracing her individuality, Natalia supposedly found herself at odds with her mother concerning her autonomy, professional paths, and the ever-present burden of the Bryant name. Footage emerged online showing Natalia seeming aloof at public functions, intensifying the rumors of discord. Rumors swirled as gossip accounts painted a narrative of a clash between Vanessa and Natalia, a mother hesitant to let go and a daughter longing for freedom. Though neither side ever validated the rumored feud, it was unnecessary. For the gossip industry, this was an ideal drama, showcasing a powerhouse not only at odds with NBA figures and critics, but also with her own child. As chatter about tensions between Vanessa and Natalia intensified, the truth emerged. In her most exposed and heartfelt moments, Vanessa consistently spotlighted her deep connection with Natalia and her children. At the tribute for Kobe and Gianna, she took care to underscore her daughter's significance. When Kobe stepped away from the NBA, he stepped into the role of driving our girls to and from school, as I was pregnant with Bianca and just back home caring for Caprick. During his playing days, I always arrived an hour early to get ahead in line for Natalia and Gianna's school pickup. I made it clear that he had to keep up his game once he took the reins. One day, he arrived late, and we definitely reminded him that punctuality was my trademark. Thus, we arrived an hour and 20 minutes ahead of schedule afterward. He was always aware that there was potential for growth and aim for betterment. He was enthusiastic about carpooling and cherished the moments spent in the vehicle with our daughters. Later in her address, Vanessa highlighted the duality of sorrow and duty, explicitly mentioning Natalia as a part of the future she now nurtured. You look after our Gigi, and I'll take care of Naughty, BB, and Coco. We remain the top squad. The Natalia speculation stung deeply, stirring up past family conflicts. Kobe's parents, particularly his mother Pam, notoriously clashed with Vanessa. Over time, sources claimed Pam saw Vanessa as a gold digger, leading to a rift so severe that his parents skipped his wedding in 2001. When Pam tried to sell Kobe's collectibles in 2013, Vanessa took a strong stand, backing Kobe in the fight to prevent it. To detractors, this reinforced the notion that Vanessa had authoritarian traits. It wasn't merely her disputes with outsiders. She was also engaged in ceaseless conflict within her own family. Thus, when whispers of Natalia's insubordination emerged years afterward, many saw it as a recurrence of past events. The narrative almost crafted itself. If Kobe's mother had had altercations with Vanessa, and now the daughter seemed to be in conflict as well, perhaps the issue lay not with others, but rather, as the tabloids posited, with Vanessa herself as the central figure. Every act of betrayal, the end of her relationship, the stolen jewelry, the whispers about Natalia, the ongoing rift with Kobe's parents, all contributed to the perception that Vanessa was in perpetual turmoil. This constant conflict shaped her public persona, making it convenient for both fans and critics to fit fresh narratives into this established pattern. Consequently, a damaging cycle emerged. As Vanessa resisted the betrayals, she was increasingly depicted as controlling. When she sought to defend herself, she was labeled as overbearing. Even in instances where she was the target, facing theft, rumors, and disrespect, she continued to be depicted as the instigator. This is the reason the dictator label endured. It was not contingent upon a single occurrence. Each instance Vanessa faced turmoil, whether involving NBA icons, her relationships, or family dynamics, strengthened its grip. While the supposed rivalry with Natalia resonated due to its suggestion of a rift across generations, the ongoing discord with Kobe's parents revealed that Vanessa's struggles had roots extending back many years. Pam and Joe Bryant never completely embraced Vanessa. From the outset, rumors circulated that Pam was not supportive of her son marrying the young Vanessa in 2001. By 2013, these rumors surfaced publicly when Pam tried to sell Kobe's memorabilia, including his jersey, championship ring, and trophy, asserting ownership. In response, Kobe and Vanessa launched a lawsuit that ultimately compelled Pam to withdraw the items from sale. For viewers who recalled the Malone controversy, it felt eerily familiar. Once again, Vanessa was depicted as confrontational, despite merely safeguarding her family's assets. In the years following Kobe's untimely passing, the rifts within the family became even more pronounced. Speculation emerged suggesting Pam was excluded from Kobe's will, and sensationalist media latched onto the narrative that Vanessa had severed ties with her. Whether fact or fiction, the tale had an undeniable allure. The domineering widow was portrayed as tightening her hold, pushing aside Kobe's own kin. This narrative overlooked the intricate and long-standing conflicts Kobe had with his parents. Yet in the realm of gossip, subtlety has little appeal. Disputes arise. The rumor mill intensified once more when Vanessa's name surfaced. Another basketball icon, Michael Jordan. In the middle of 2025, whispers spread across social media that a documentary revealing Jordan's personal affairs included a fleeting reference to Vanessa. It was reportedly suggested that she had voiced concerns about Jordan's impact on Kobe during the early days of their bond. The gossip was scarce, yet it gained momentum as it conformed to the narrative already in place. Supporters recalled her conflicts with Malone, her troubled ties with Kobe's family, and the whispers about Natalia. Thus, when Jordan's name surfaced, the public accepted the expose without skepticism. They effortlessly reinstated Vanessa in her well-worn position. The individual perpetually engaged in rivalry, forever governing, perpetually at odds, could be understood when isolating each incident. They represented grievances and clashes. The theft of the jewelry signified a breach of trust within a personal bond. The whispers about Natalia illustrated an inherent tension between a parent and their grown offspring. The disputes within the Kobe family stemmed from long-standing resentments flared up again by loss and financial strain. The rumors surrounding the Jordan affair were largely unfounded whispers. Yet, when accumulated over 20 years, they formed a narrative, or at least suggested one. To the public, eager for sensational stories, Vanessa Bryant didn't merely face misfortune in her struggles. She was seen as the unifying factor in each. However, this perception solidified into a lasting reputation. Once a label attaches itself, shaking it off becomes an arduous task. When the 2025 pregnancy speculation surfaced, Vanessa had been embodying this character for ages. Each new narrative about her existence, regardless of its authenticity, was interpreted through the dictator's perspective. If she defended her stance, she was seen as domineering. If she chose not to respond, she was viewed as deceitful. If she replied with wit, she was labeled merciless. The context remained constant. What shifted were the specifics. This is precisely why the speculation about the pregnancy gained momentum so rapidly. It transcended mere gossip about her physique. It was a narrative that seamlessly fit into the storyline her fans had envisioned for her. The widow who once challenged Karl Malone had disputes with Kobe's family and reportedly had conflicts with her own child. Naturally, she would find herself entangled in yet another NBA controversy. This was the Vanessa Bryant the public believed they understood. We appreciate your viewership. If you liked this video, tap on one of the boxes appearing on your screen to explore more related content.